Welcome back, everybody, to the second and final match of the evening in tonight's Vortex stream, and we turn our eyes down the table to watch the teams currently occupying 7th and 8th go head-to-head to try and push themselves into playoff contention. It is V1CTORY Esports versus the Stones, and to help me oversee the action in this match, it is Mac Fish. How you doing?
I'm doing quite well, Herbie. Thank you very much for that beautiful introduction. Yeah, we just seen Dunno Chief just absolutely trounce TT Bilhaben with a 3-0 sweep just to stamp authority on the Vortex. But right now, it is towards as you said, towards the bottom of the Vortex to just see if V1CTORY Esports or the Stones can indeed battle themselves up into contention for that fourth place. Both teams having lost 2 games and V1CTORY Esports gaining a forfeit win in week number 1 over the Little Wammons. So not too rosy for either of those teams.
Well, the Stones have had a couple of difficult fixtures to kick off their season. Matches against both Imagine Playing Freeze and Little Wammons. I believe the second of them was on stream, but it has been a while since they played in a league match. The positive that they can take from those opening 2 games, difficult fixtures, but they still won a game in both of those matches. Is this a series that they can potentially turn into a win outright?
I think for the sake of their season, the Stones, they have to win this one just to stay ahead of the other teams. And as you said, they've played Imagine Playing Threes and they've played Little Wammons, so probably 2 of the top 3 teams in the Vortex, with the third one being Dunno Chief. So they've had a rough start to the season, but these are the games they need to be looking at, just trying to get as much out of as they possibly can. This is the sort of match that they have to win against their direct competitors, because it could be curtains really quick for their season if they lose this one and go 0-3.
When V1CTORY Esports have the forfeit win against Little Wammons, as you already mentioned, so perhaps beneficial to them that they have that win in a match that, judging by their current position in the table, they may well have not won had they actually played it. But they are the only team to have taken the game off of Dunno Chief so far in a 3-1 defeat. And given how well Dunno Chief played in the match that we've seen just now, that's got to be an indicator of their ability, even if they are down here in the table at the moment.
Yeah, and they kept the other games quite close as well, where they played against HG, which is also a midfield contender, like just fighting for that fourth spot. Went to overtime twice, and it was generally a close series, judging by the game results. So overall, I think we can expect a lot from V1CTORY Esports. Of course, they've just brought in Evade last week onto the roster, replacing Jalen. So it's going to be Mr. Messi, Peanut, and Evade for V1CTORY Esports with a fairly new roster. And in the Stones, we do not see Alex Meister, the regular third, but also a replacement that has been just brought in this evening for the game, which is going to be Hazo. So it's going to be an interesting dynamic to see how well the Stones can adapt to replacing Alex Meister with Hazo here.
Well, it's happened a lot for these Oofstone players, Havoc and Hodge, dating back really a couple of seasons now. They've gone through third teammates fairly frequently, so I think they'll be relatively well able to adapt to it. It's not like it'll be the first time that it's happened. I remembered watching their series against Little Wammons with Alex Meister, and even though that was a new partnership in itself, I would say they settled into it reasonably quickly. But V1CTORY Esports have also got the new third player to settle into, as you mentioned, so it's going to affect both teams a little bit in a series that both sides really do need to win to keep themselves in playoff contention, as we've already gone through the results. But we wouldn't be cast as if I didn't ask you for a prediction from this series.
I mean, given that I do have confidence in Oofstones, but I've been talking to Hodge a lot recently, and he's been telling me that he's just having a bit of a slump and he's not like feeling great about playing about Rocket League right now. That dampens my confidence in them a little bit, but I believe that with being on stream, he'll just find his form again. And I think he went with Havoc, especially there. They've played together for such a long time, and I think they can just turn it around here. And I'll take Oofstones for a 3-1 victory over V1CTORY Esports. I expect the games to be really close, and it could easily go into Game 5 as well.
Well, I'm going to play devil's advocate by leaning in the other direction and suggesting that V1CTORY Esports will take this series in 5 games. I sense that the neutral support could be on the side of the Oofstones, but V1CTORY Esports look like a team that is maybe a little bit unlucky to be where they're at the moment. They played in a couple of close matches, and sometimes those results don't come off for your team. But against an Oofstones roster that is in a little bit of turmoil at the moment, it's a perfect opportunity for them to get themselves back on track.
Yeah, and if Victory actually do take this game, they will also just jump. I think, depending on how high they win, they might even jump up to fifth, up to sixth place, and with putting real pressure on Visu Gaming and Little Women's, who are currently sitting on in a shared fourth spot. So a lot riding here on this series, honestly, for Victory Esports. More so, maybe less so than for the Youth Stones, but still quite a lot if they want to keep in touch with that fourth spot that would obviously get them playoffs at the end of the season. Then there's a lot going on for them. So the pressure is pretty much going to be on them as well to keep up their performance from early in this season and to just keep touch with that higher positions.
And it is important to try and build some momentum in this series. We're in week 5 of the ECC at the moment, and these teams are a little bit behind on schedule. Victory Esports will play their 4th match in this fixture. Oofsteins will have number 3 done. So it means that the teams are going to have to try and play more than one per week in the remaining weeks of the season. So you're going to have match after match and not too much time to recover mentally between them. So get yourself a win in this fixture and things start to look a little more favourable for you in the next one and the one after that, etc. I mean, Victory Esports still have to play Cagliari Calcio Exceed at the bottom of the table. So there are fixtures for both teams that they'll feel like they can win after this one is done and dusted. But it's very much a gigantic hurdle for both of these teams to try and conquer.
Yeah, although like both teams, as you said, haven't really played a lot of series this season, it's really a do or a make or break series for the entire season. As you mentioned, the momentum now with both being behind schedule, and especially Oofstones being this far behind schedule with only having played 2 games at the end of week 5. This was, of course, a week 3 matchups, which has been postponed, is now playing at the last possible time, exactly 2 weeks after the end of week 3. So they're just gonna need to hurry up with playing the games, and this could be a great starter to get back the confidence as well on the sides of Oofstones for the remainder of the season.
Yes, absolutely. I mean, from my experience watching these 10-team divisions and how the permutations rattle out for playoff positions, I mean, top 4 making the Vortex, you could go 6-3 and not even make it. So, say if the Oofsteins were to lose this fixture and they find themselves starting 0-3, you're potentially looking at, even if you win every single fixture you play in the rest of the season, you might still find yourself pipped to the post right at the end. So, absolutely a must-win fixture for both of these teams.
And exactly, I think that's enough of our little waffling. I see we are split on the matter, but we have all 6 players in the lobby. So what do you think? Let's just give the teams the go-ahead sign, and let's get this series underway with a bit of delay of 3 minutes. It's it's Victory Esports versus the Oofstones. Victory Esports in blue, Oofstones in the orange, and all the players are in the lobby. Herbie, take it away for kickoff number 1.
Well, game 1 of this series always important for both teams to try and set the tone early in the first kickoff is the indicator of that, and it's possession for the Oofsteins over the top. Peanut is going to clear that one away back to halfway. Hodge looks for Hazo on the pass and hits the crossbar. You were wondering about chemistry between the Oofsteins players. Well, early on in this series, they had a real big opportunity to go in front.
Yeah, it's great vision there from Hodgson, looking up for Hazen. Hazen now returning a favor to Havoc, but it's only against the crossbar. Accuracy needing to be dialed in a little more, but this is good starting from the Oofstones. Now Messi intercepting one high pass of Hodge, but Havoc is going to take care of that one. Peanut, of course, now is looking for Messi, nearly the redirect into the net, and Evade gets a great drop on that, and that's a quick response from Victory Esports.
Well, the first goal of the series is important, but how you score it as well can be equally so, and that is a thumping finish at 102 kilometres into the net. 37 seconds into the game, and Victory Esports have struck first after Oofsteins had the early opportunities to score. The shots are 3-1 to the team in orange at the moment, but the one that counted, Victory Esports took it. Now Hazo clears over halfway. Havoc tried to chase that one down into the far corner. Is going to get an opportunity to take it. Messi made the block. Now Evade over the top of Hodge, and there's some room for Messi to take it on. Looking forwards, but Peanut decides to hang back at the halfway line, and Victory Esports look like they've settled into a bit of a pattern now.
Yeah, the rhythm is definitely there now on the side of Victory, as Hodge takes away Evade here. Now, Peanut looking for a bump on Havoc, can't really find it. Hodge helping out his teammate, as with a long clear, the ball deep now in the blue half. There's no pressure on Evade to speak of. Now Havoc looking for a bump on the backboard. Can he find the pass to Hodge? No, Hodge hangs back, doesn't want to commit. doesn't want to overcommit, but Hazo doesn't matter as he takes a shot, and Hodge, Havoc as well with a shot on target. Good defense from Victory Esports to keep that one out, and now again with a quick counter-attack.
Yeah, they're really stoking up some pressure on their own goal line there. A couple of saves very close to the net. Hazo had an opportunity to shoot from distance and the net was wide open, looking for their first goal in the Youthstones uniform and can't find it. Hodge looking for the follow-up shot. That one's blocked aside by Evade. Peanut was up for it, but they've lost possession to the player in orange. Gets the tap back into their own end, and they may be made to regret that. Havoc looking for the double tap off the backboard. Now Messi, one-on-one with Hodge. Tried to flick over the top, and it's well defended. Good anticipation there from Hodge to win it back for the Youthstones. Now a pass into the middle, but nobody's home. Messi's going to look for Evade down this right wing, and an opportunity to turn it central. Hazo is up to make the clear, and we've got some real end-to-end Rocket League at the moment.
Not really a lot of methodical play, just boom the ball forward and then see what's going to happen out of that one, as Hodge now perfectly demonstrates that tactic and gets a good block as well. And he does actually have the speed to come in from the side. I did not expect that. I thought Havoc was going to come in for a 50, but no. Hodge just chases in from the side and beats Evade and gets a great angle on net.
And just off the post and in as we reach the halfway point of this game one. It's a very timely equaliser for the Youthstones. You wait any longer to get it and the pressure is starting to ramp up on you in the second half of the game. As it is though, the dominance on the shot board has paid off 6-1. Could be a 7th here. Havoc was looking to cut inside and now it's Hazo's turn to make something happen. Looks for Hodge in field. Two defenders up to block it for Victory Esports. This ball is coming back in dangerously. Messi clears back to halfway. Hazo is up for it. Crunching 50 is won by Victory Esports. Now here comes Peanut with the shot. That one's defended over to the sidewall by Hodge and away.
And now Hodge tries to transition upfield as it's a bad touch from Messi and Havoc and Hazo. The connection is there for both of these players from the Youthstones. Straight infield pass, great vision on the ball to make that one work, and they've turned around the deficit into a 1-goal lead.
Hazo has the goal for the Youthstones, and I have been impressed with how involved they've been in the Youthstones gameplay at the moment. That was their 3rd shot on target, and it's really the 3rd time in this game one that an Youthstones teammate has specifically looked for them on an infield pass, and this time it pays off. They go in front. How long is that going to last? Hazo makes the save and now pinches from the right side ball up to the midfield line. Havoc cuts to the outside. Now opportunity to swing it back inwards for Hodge. And the save is made by Messi to prevent the lead from being expanded to 2 goals.
Yeah, and the Youthstones roster, this is a different Youthstones than we've seen before in the Vortex, playing with a lot more confidence than they've had previously, but now they are forced on defense. Messi now against backcourt, but Hazo already well positioned, gets it past Peanut as well. Have a great 50 against Evade. The goal is now open. Can Messi get back in time? Yes, he can. Gets a great 50 into the orange half. That puts Hazo under a lot of pressure. Deals with it brilliantly though, as he tries to get it up. Messi now takes over. Havoc cutting in, getting his teammate Hodge fit into an awkward position, but the cut ultimately just works out as he's able to transition the ball out of the orange half and back into the blue corner with a shot. Now is Havoc, but that is easily saved by Mr. Messi.
Well, we have just under 1 minute to go in this game one, and since Victory Esports got their goal, they've been very quiet offensively. They might make something happen here, but Hodge wins it back. Gets to the 50 on the halfway line, frees up possession for Havoc, and Evade recovers nicely to make the save and keep it 2-1. Victory Esports still needs something going the other way, and Hazo makes an important block on the halfway line. Now the demo's in front, and there was nearly an opportunity to send it home and really seal the deal in this game one for the Youthstones. Is this a rule 1 on the left wing? It's Havoc and Messi tied up. That leaves a 2-on-2 going the other way. Hazo defends it clear, and Hodge sends it all the way back. I know from my time in Rocket Sundays how good Hodge is in 2v2 situations. He's going to look in field for Hazo. There's a defender back and it's Evade with 15 seconds to go. 2 players still locked up on the sidewall. Now here come Victory Esports going the other way. 10 seconds to go. Evade flicks in, but Hodge blocks it clear. Now he's going to get a chance to send it down the field. Peanut will have to clear it out to the sidewall. One last chance for Victory Esports to send it forwards, but Hodge says no, and the Youthstones take game 1.
And that rule 1 was really crucial there in the end, because as with that little time remaining and the boost advantage being with the Youthstones in that situation, they were just having all the right tools at their disposal to just bring the 2v2 home quite comfortably, as well as now they take the 2-1 victory. A good start with a shaky in between from the Youthstones, but they recovered well mentally and from a play-wise from their deficit from the early Victory Esports goal that was sort of undeserved and sort of against the run of play overall, wouldn't you say?
It's difficult to say what level the Oofsteins roster are at from what I've seen of them before. I'm thinking after this game one that Oofsteins with Hazo possibly a better team than the Oofsteins with Alex Meister, because they really generated quality shots on target and controlled the gameplay. Outside of the goal that they conceded, they had bundles of possession and arguably should have had more than the 2 goals that they got. Hazo really provided some glue between Havoc and Hodge, and Victor Esports just didn't look as unified in their own rotations and their own opportunities to counterattack.
And that unification might be the differentiating factor here between the Oofstones and Victory Esports, as we are now able to see if Victory Esports can find some of that glue, if maybe Evade can be that glue between Messi and Peanut, that they need to come back here against the Oofstones for kickoff in game number 2, which goes very much in favor of the Victory Esports side, but Havoc has a lot of time in defense to just take control of that ball and try to just orchestrate an attack.
This ball headed dangerously into the opposition half as Victory Esports looked to strike first in game 2 and maybe send the momentum the other way. It's Evade off the backboard, and Messi was on hand to tap it home. 20 seconds in for Victory Esports is exactly the start they would have been hoping for. They need to try and drag the Oofstones down a little bit confidence-wise.
Yeah, and Evade just with a great hard read on Hazer, just expecting the touch into the corner and just being ready with the jump off the wall. Gets a great double tap as well. Just gets it down to his teammate, gets it down to Messi to just enable that goal. Brilliant play here from Evade, and it's maybe not done yet as Evade waiting in the middle again, but this time Hazer finds a much better touch than before and sends it deep into enemy territory where Hodge looking for a pass on Hazer. It's Peanut who's pre-jumped that save, and it's well done from him, well read the situation, well read on the shot, as now they are moving back into offense again. It's end-to-end stuff here, not really a lot of methodical midfield play, just shoot shot after shot after shot, as now Messi forced up with the save. Hazo into the corner, Havoc is up, can he beat Messi? Yes he can, but he can't find a teammate. Hodge tries his best to keep the ball in the attacking half, but now they have to be wary of the overcommit, which does happen, but Hazo is already deep in their own half to clear any impending danger.
Well, it's a test of an entirely different sort for the Oofstones in comparison to what they faced in the previous game. Now having to chase the match, Victory Esports in control a little bit, and certainly against Little Whammons, their weaknesses were exposed when they found themselves down by a goal. They left room open at the back for easy additions to the lead, and right now they've kept it 1-0, but they haven't really had many chances at goal. Their shots have been few and far between in this one, just 2 apiece for both sides, and that certainly favours Victory Esports a lot more than it does the Oofstones. Peanut is going to clear out to halfway, and Evade was up for it, but just couldn't get the angle they were hoping for to send it goalwards. Now it's Hazo changing the direction of play for the Oofstones. Messi clears over to the left side, but it's all a little bit too quiet in this game, I feel, at the moment.
Yeah, it's still end-to-end stuff, but the shots are not quite coming through on target as Messi tries to intercept the play, gets it into the corner, gets a shot, but Hodge he hasn't caught the Guardian Angel for nothing. This was an incredible save from the young Englishman, who's now also tasked with getting that one past Messi. Doesn't do so. Messi already up in the air. Just as far as Hazel, though, Havoc now beaten by Evade, and who also gets a double tap, leaves Hodge into a difficult position. He has to make a touch, he doesn't find it, and Peanut will punish you for it. Hazel, no chance in that to keep that one out.
Well, the gauntlet has certainly been thrown to the Oofstones now. They find themselves 2-0 down. It's a complete reversal of fortunes to the game that they had to open up the series. Still plenty of time for them, of course, over half of the game, and they didn't really kick into gear until the halfway point of the previous game, so there's still hope for them, but they need one fairly soonish to have a realistic chance of going 2-0 up in the series. Now Hodge barrels through the challenge of one defender, but Havoc had overcommitted there. Hazo is the only defender back for the Oofstones at the moment, and they're under pressure. Evade will capitalise on the pass from the left wing from Peanut. It is an easy as you like finish for Victory Esports, and they are cruising at the moment.
Yeah, they seem to be just punishing every mistake that the Oofstones do, and this one in offense from Havoc, just chasing in a little bit too early. Just didn't expect the second touch from his teammate. Didn't expect Hodge's just touch high in the air over the Victory Esports defender, and that comes back to bite them in the ass. As now Hodge trying to claw back a bit of the deficit, but that shot is wide. I still like that the Oofstones are going for that personal place, are going for the team plays now, still looking for one another, not just going up for solo plays, but this one was really close again. They have to focus down on defense. They can't be affording to overcommit that much, because at that point the lead just might be too great to get back in game number 2.
Well, it is the Ulfstein's mantra that they've clutched to their chest regardless of who the third is. It's always been the way that Hodge and Havoc have played together as a duo. Free-flowing offense and, well, defense comes second maybe sometimes if you haven't scored enough. And, well, right now they're 3-0 down, so it's not going their way. It's a gameplay tactic that really draws parallels. You're either winning comfortably or you're losing comfortably. Right now, it is the latter. They find themselves 4-0 down now. It's the second goal of the game for Messi.
Very much the latter here, but Peanut just beating Hodge onto that ball on the sidewall, just trying to get the small steal as well in the end from Messi. But that was just the key. Hodge trying his damnedest to get to that ball, trying to get a good 50, but 50 just ends up careening towards Messi, who has no problems with scoring one himself. But now Hazer looking for the top corner, not quite in the goal. Messi again there with a really good performance, but this time Hodge takes a quick turn and makes it a goal. 4-1, 3 goals in a minute is looking unlikely given how the Ulfstones are playing, but it's not impossible.
Well, it could be, at the very least, a swing of momentum, even if it doesn't result in the Ulfstones turning this game around. It's a turnover from Victory Esports that could have easily been avoided, and suddenly their control over this game is looking a little bit wiry in comparison to how it was 10 seconds ago. But they have taken possession back. Hazo has given it away to Evade on the backboard. This ball is loose in front and Havoc has to step up to make the clear. Wins a 50 over to halfway, and now they look for the passing play. Oh, and Messi gets a vital interception on that. Hodge was in behind the defence, but suddenly Victory Esports send it back the other way.
Yeah, Ulfstones really need to connect on that passing play, but Messi really well done on the cutter. But now it's Havoc with a shot. Evade is there just in time to make that clear, and now gets the ball even further away from the blue goal. Great redirect, the angle not quite there, and Hazer would have been in the goal, but it's a great redirect nonetheless from Evade.
Oh, and Hodge with the shot. Oh, and I think Havoc might have saved that one. There was an active defender on the goal line, but certainly you didn't want to be putting yourselves in there. 15 seconds to go, and that might be the game now. If they were to come back, they certainly needed to score it, but in the last minute or so of this game, they have looked better. They deserve a second goal with the play that they've brought out. 4 seconds to go. Hodge is in from the right wing to try and put it central, but this one will come back to halfway, and it will be a 4-1 victory for Victory Esports, tying the series.
Yeah, Victory just looked very, very comfortable in the early stages of that game, just punishing Ulfstone's overcommitment. But then at the end, you could see again the Ulfstones of game number 1, where they came forward and they had the restraint in themselves to just not overcommit while they were still looking for one another. So at that point, Ulfstones just clawing it back, and rewarding themselves with a goal as well in that last minute, just finding their form. And as we now head into game 3, it's tied in the series. So effectively, we're now in the best of 3.
Best of 3 indeed. And are either of our predictions going to change heading into the remainder of the series based on what we've seen from the opening 2 games? It's very much been a tale of 2 games. It feels like both teams have only brought their A game in separate stadiums so far in this series.
Yeah, it's very much still open. Just if one team can stamp the authority on the game early, I think that's pretty much it. It seems like that the first minute of a game is the most important one in either game, with just one team establishing dominance and just not looking back after that point. So it's really who can draw first blood, who can score first here. That's almost the deciding factor in that series.
Havoc now looking for Hazo in the back left corner as the Ulfstones try and kickstart the first goal of game 3. Hodge chips over one defender, and Peanut had to make that touch along the backboard to prevent it from dropping down in front. Now Hazo slaloms their way past one player, tried to go underneath the second, but as per usual, Messi is on hand to win a 50 in midfield, but wins possession back for Victory Esports. Now Peanut looking for Messi, but that's got a little too much heat on it. Messi trying to chip back into the danger area, and Evade is onto it. That's a tight angle. Lovely finish to put Victory Esports in front.
And it seemed like Havoc was just a bit slow on the back, at the back post there. He had 30 boosts or so to make a challenge a bit earlier. Normally he's not afraid to just jump into a ball, but this time he was a little bit hesitant, and that enabled Evade to just barely outspeed him and just get that goal and bury it in the net. And within the first minute again, there has been a goal, and this time it has again been for V1CTORY Esports. Every game thus far, they have led over game 1. Oofstones were very much aggressive, and they are aggressive here again. Hazo and Havoc connecting yet again with a banger of a shot towards top ends.
119, that's practically unsavable even in the Vortex. Messi was positioned correctly to save it, but no chance of getting up there to make the stop. 1-1, just under a minute into the pivotal game of the series, tied 1-1. Now level on the scoreboards in this game as well. V1CTORY Esports looking to go back in front. It is Peanut on the right side, deflected away by Hodge. 2 players up for it in the air, and this one's headed towards the net. Hodge had an important clearance, now over to the right side where Evade is onto it, pinches it back into the mixer. Havoc has to sweep it over to the far side, but the Oofstones are definitely under pressure at the moment. This is a timely rush down the left side for Hazo, and we have another Rule 1 situation. This worked pretty well for the Oofstones last time out, but it's V1CTORY Esports on the counter-attack this time. Hodge clears out to the corner and away.
Yeah, but Hodge now with Havoc, with his old teammate. They've, of course, played so much twos together. They know how to play the situation here and versus Messi and Evade, but this is proving to be quite close. As Messi now looking for the backboard, looking for the flip reset as well, but Hodge on the backboard position very well to deal with that one. Now Havoc looking for the angle. Just actually finds the pass, but Hodge was not expecting it as he's now going to the ceiling. We see a lot of freestyle Roonies here from the players, but neither of them just connecting on the plays. Now Messi gets bumped by Hodge, but he doesn't care as he still gets it around Havoc. Great cut ball control and great car control from Mr. Messi, who just deals with this bomb brilliantly.
Yes, it's an excellent goal for V1CTORY Esports. I think you could argue that the trade-off of players was perhaps favouring the Oofstones there, with Havoc and Hodge, the long-time teammates, left actively participating, but they've conceded the goal as a result. They now have to pick themselves back up and try and find an equaliser. There wasn't too much time elapsed off the block where Hazo was forced into stopping playing, but it's V1CTORY Esports again in behind, and Havoc makes the important save into the corner. Hazo will now try and prove their worth and drag the ball over the top, pinch back into Havoc, who can only side flip into the ball, and that will allow V1CTORY Esports a chance to go the other way. Here is Evade off the backboard, double tap!
And that was...
And 3-1 on the halfway mark of this game.
And that was so good, your mic even cut out with that one. Evade, great car control in the air, just puts it against the backboard. All 3 Oofstones players just rushing back, Hodge being bumped as well, I believe. And that just not defendable in their current situation. 3-1 now for V1CTORY Esports, but the passing play coming out again. Hazo and Havoc just being a treat to watch with that connection on the pitch. And Hodge now trying to fit in to that rotation, trying to fit in with his teammates. Is looking for a demo. His Hodge as well finds it, but Evade can deal with that one as V1CTORY Esports still not out of the pressure. Havoc now looking for the shot, gets it on target. Messi though, easy control for him. Hodge just misses his touch there, and there's no one in the backfield. Where's the defender? He's not there, and Messi just has an open net to aim for, and once again the overcommit from Oofstones cost them dearly.
Well, the defensive issues that plagued the Oofstones in Game 2 of the series look to have carried over into the next one, as they've conceded 4 goals, and there are still 2 minutes to go in this one. They have made 2 saves between them, but that last goal was an easily avoidable one, as they are overextending, trying to force their way back into this game, and ultimately all it's done has let them go further behind. They really need a goal sometime soonish to prove that their offensive efforts are not futile. Here is Hodge, plenty of room to control it on the left wing, but they just turn it over in front, and that'll allow a shot to go the other way. Might be a chance for V1CTORY Esports to cap off a 5-star performance, but now Oofstones back onto the counter-attack. Here is Havoc looking for it off the backboard. Sent over to Hodge on the far side. He looks for Hazo, and it's 4-2. They really needed that one with 1:25 to go.
And that pass, once again, beautiful. Normally you would think, okay, Hodge is going to shoot at the open net, but no, he looks for Hazo. The call comes through from Hazo. Pass me, I'm in field, I'm free. And he buries it in the net, thanking Hodge for that pass. And with that, it's only 2 goals in 1 minute and 20 seconds. That's plenty of time, but they ultimately want the first goal to happen sooner rather than later. It's now Havoc, low boost, flips it forward, being intercepted now by Evade as Hazer gets it forward towards Havoc, looking for the shot, and it's looking good, but Messi with the pinch of his own post keeps it out, and that was a mega save from him.
What a stop that could be, and how crucial could that prove to be over the course of this series as Oofstones continue to hammer away. They have their third goal now, but they could have been level if not for that amazing stop. But Havoc and Hodge get the job done. 1 goal is the deficit.
A bit nice by the crossbar here, but nonetheless, they won't care. It's only a 1-goal deficit now with 56 seconds left on the clock as we see Havoc normal front flip to the kickoff. Rarely do you ever see a non-speed flick kickoff in the Vortex. Just maybe a bit of tactical shenanigans from Havoc as he now gets a long clear up the field. Messi already waiting on the backboard. Gets a clear just neutrally and just high in the air. And sets up Hodge with the shot, but Peanut can come in at the last second to deny Hodge with a good opportunity. Havoc though keeping up the pressure towards Hazer in the middle. Now Hodge needing to get back and just in time. Evade was hunting him down.
25 seconds to go. Oofstones need 1 more to potentially send us to OT, but they're in the wrong area of the pitch at the moment. Messi keeps it in for Peanut as V1CTORY Esports just try and waste some time off the clock. 50 is won by Peanut, looking for Messi up for the high angle in front, and it's deflected out to the wing. But the Oofstones need to carry it the other way. The V1CTORY players might have done them a favour here. The ball is in their court with a couple of seconds to go. Peanut just needs this one to touch the ground. They can't manage it. Hazo keeps it up. Hodge is in the mixer. Messi clears out to the wing. It's into the centre for Havoc, and he's missed it. And V1CTORY Esports hang on for the win in Game 3.
That was such a good attack by the Oofstones there at the end, keeping the ball in the air. Hodge just bumping and harassing the defender in that, and then Hazer had the right idea, using the backboard to get the ball that little bit more infield, but Havoc just can't quite reach it, and the good game goes to, and I believe that was the one game we were looking for, where both teams showed a bit of their A game, and we see it's gonna end in a close affair, no matter what happens in this series now.
Well, it could well be swinging in the direction of my prediction now, as V1CTORY Esports have taken the 2-1 series lead, and that really was a pivotal moment of the series. As you mentioned, both teams looked to be playing out their best, but there was a couple of key moments in there for the Oofstones where they couldn't capitalise. That big save made by Messi that prevented them from carving into the lead sooner. Maybe if that had gone in, we'd be looking at a different winner from this Game 3 of the series, but those are the moments that can make you a winning team. And now V1CTORY Esports will have an opportunity to cap off the series here in Utopia Coliseum in Game 4.
Yeah, but obviously the Oofstones will do anything in their power to prevent a 3-1 loss after leading the series first with a 1-0. So it's all on them now. The pressure's all on them to just come back here into this series, as it's now Peanut, who had a very, very quiet game number 3 versus Hazel on the kickoff for game number 4. Match point for V1CTORY Esports here in game number 4. Oofstones are under pressure.
Yeah, the momentum gauge is about 50-50 at the moment, I would say. Even though V1CTORY Esports did get the win in that previous game, the Oofstones were the better team at the very end and had the opportunities to equalise. So this Game 4 is very much either teams for the taking at the moment. V1CTORY Esports have put a dangerous ball into the centre, but Hodge will clear that away. Peanut is up to apply early pressure, and Messi, with 780 points in the previous game, will surely play a pivotal role again. Scoreless first 30 seconds, though. It's a bit of a gritty start.
Gritty start, a few bumps, a few demos coming through, especially Peanut looking to just disrupt an attack of the Oofstones, but it's now Hodge looking for past mid. Messi already there now. Evade once again chilling on the backboard, looking for the drop, but Hazer is there just in case anything bad would happen off that shot. We've seen Evade plenty of times this game with some incredible angles. Now Havoc looking for a weird flick on Messi, can't find it, gets bumped as well, and another good opportunity for the Oofstones to go bagging.
Evade over to the right side looking for the pinch. They've got the pinch, but this one will float wide of the net. Hodge backflips and allows Hazo to take control of it. Now Hodge flies into the play themselves, wins the 50. Hazo picks up a demo on Messi, and now here they come down the left side, off the ceiling into the centre. This one's on target, and Evade makes the save to turn it aside. Now over halfway, but the Oofstones send it right back. Hazo was looking for the through ball to Hodge down that right side. Hodge will just backpedal a little bit, now takes it on, looking for Hazo. The Oofstones are building towards something, but they don't have the goal to show for it yet. Havoc might be able to carve the defence open here, but Messi stands firm to make the clear for V1CTORY Esports, who are absorbing some pressure from the Oofstones.
Yeah, but now they're looking at applying some of that pressure themselves as Hodge is forced up. Messi not up, so he can easily whiff that ball and be in position for maybe a long clear, but Peanut already in the air, already a lot more touches than in the previous 2 games combined, I feel like, from Peanut, who's coming a bit more alive towards the latter part of this series. It's been a scoreless affair, which is very uncharacteristical of the series. We've seen a high-scoring game after high-scoring game thus far. Now the defenses are just holding up that bit better. It's now Havoc looking for Hodge looking for Havoc rather, but the pass just doesn't connect, and Peanut on the backboard can get an easy clear away.
I don't think the Youth Stones have really changed anything heading into this game, though. It's more like a continuation of the last couple of minutes of the previous one, with the difference being that they haven't found the goals that they need. V1CTORY Esports will probably be sitting comfortably until they do go behind. Still over 2 minutes left in this game for either side to make a dent on the scoreboard. This one dropped down in front by Peanut, and it just floats wide of the right post. Now Hodge clears past Messi, who's rotating back without boost. Evade on the far side to launch it up into midfield. It pings back into the centre. Evade looking over the top. Hazo's got a clear to make, and they do manage it. And I am wondering what it's going to take for either of these teams to crack open the game.
Both teams looking for each other, both teams looking for the passes, and maybe now the bump is crucial, but Hodge just not up early enough. Havoc tries with the shot, but Messi is in the way. It's Evade now, long clear, puts Hazo under a lot of pressure. Evade already up, he can have the read, but Hazo has us a bit quicker than Evade and just gets this one into safety and into the corner. Peanut, though, applying the pressure yet again, trying to build some of the pressure that Youth Stones have been building earlier. Havoc, musty flick into the corner. Can he get it past the defender? Can he get it past Messi? No, he can't, and Hodge can't get it on target either, as the ball still floating dangerously in front of the net. It's Peanut getting it over Hodge. Havoc jumping in, dangerous commit. It's now Evade. Big whiff from him. Hazo is being enabled. He can see Hodge in mid. Hodge with the give and go. No, the accuracy not quite there, and the bounce just fucking move over that bridge more. But Havoc doesn't mind, and he puts it away. Late lead here for Youth Stones.
Yeah, the Youth Stones could smell blood as soon as there was a miss coming through midfield from V1CTORY Esports, and with the 2-on-1, even though Hodge didn't get the pass back to Hazo, it still took another defender out of the play, and Havoc was there to follow it up. 1-0 to the team that needs to win this game 4. Can they build upon that lead as soon as they took it? Here it comes from the right side. Havoc's going to swing a ball into the centre. Hodge decides not to go for it. Now he's going to take it on the left wing. Misses it, but here's Havoc again. Everybody misses it in front, and now here comes Peanut. Hazo is slightly out of position, but he makes the save anyway. 2 players up for it. It's Evade, and the save on the line, keeping it 1-0 for the Youth Stones.
And I believe Hazo with the double save here as well, coming back from inside the net. Now he's tossed again. Gets it away once more, and Hodge just helping you out to get it into the blue half. It's Messi now, looking for Peanut, who's being challenged by Hazel. The drop now. The bounce is not favouring the Youth Stones. That could have been a goal here for Hodge if Rocket League would have been a bit more forgiving with that bounce. But this time, V1CTORY Esports just benefiting from it and keeping alive. There's still 1 goal deficit, technically infinite amount of time remaining if they can just keep it in the air. It's Peanut looking for Messi, looking to keep it up, but it's again quite opposite. It's rolling on the floor, and now Havoc maybe looking for Hodge. Doesn't want the passing play, just wants the ball to hit the ground, and we go into game 5.
Well, that was a very gritty and grindy game from start to finish, but the Youth Stones eventually found the goal that they needed, and that was ultimately all that they needed to take game 4 by a lonely score of 1-0. V1CTORY Esports had their chances to go the other way, but only after they'd fallen behind. I just sense that the overall momentum of the series, of course, has now swung in favour of the Youth Stones. They've owned the stretches of gameplay ever since they went 4-1 down in the middle of game 3. It's like they flipped a switch and they were suddenly back in game 1 mode, and I don't think they've left that. V1CTORY Esports are the team that needs to change something up heading into the final game of the series.
And I'm mainly looking at Messi here. Evade has been so consistently good and so well performing over the entirety of the series. Peanut has been a bit more quiet, but has been just doing what his team needs him to do, just being that third man. But Messi just being very, very fluctuating, very inconsistent. He had a banger performance in game number 3 and a really good one in game 2 as well. But now back to more game 1 mode for Messi as well. So I'm looking at Messi. If Messi has a good game here as we head onto Champions Field, then it's going to be a banger it's going to be really, really close and a banger of a game 5 here.
And going the other way for the Youth Stones, I think Hazo needs to have a good game as well for them. Even though Havoc and Hodge found the goal, it was Hazo that sealed the deal and got them the victory with the big saves in the final minute. They need more of the same. They have to be strong defensively as well as their offensive freedom. Here we go in Game 5 in Champions Field. It's a huge game in both of these teams' respective seasons as they look to swing themselves back into playoff contention with their first victory on the pitch. Victory Esports looking for the first goal of the game. It's Peanut winning the ball back. Havoc trying to make this clear. Hodge with a double demo in behind. Evade is the only defender back, but the shot is wide of the left post. Another demo from Havoc here. Victory Esports will be all at sea right now. Hodge goes underneath the defenders, but Peanut clears over to the far side. Oofstones looks more likely to score right now.
And Havoc going back to old Havoc ways where he used to equal about something like 4 demos per game, as he's now just trying to instill fear into his enemy, but he won't instill fear with that, with Messi just being barely able to capitalize off of that one. Nearly a goal for Victory Esports here, so they still have to be very, very careful as the demos come flying from the Oofstones. 5 demos, I think, in the first minute. They are trying their damnedest to just get some momentum, but Victory Esports not to be outdone. Messi demos not on the attack to alleviate all the pressure Oofstones wanted to build.
Scoreless first minute of the game as well. Are we headed in similar fashion to Game 4? If that is the case, Oofstones will be fancying their chances a little more right now. Huge pinch towards the defensive third. Messi's got to get up for this one, make the clear, and does so. Hodge wins it back on the halfway line. Some ping pong between the two teams right now. Hodge loses out to Evade on this challenge, and now Hazo will step into the play. Nobody's home in midfield, so that's going to go down as a turnover. Peanut sends it clear. Now Havoc on for Hodge. Creative work to get it over the halfway line, but it just comes straight back. Neither team really settling in.
Neither team really carving out any big chances, as it's now Evade with a shot again, looking at the backboard, but Hodge already there, taking control, has the time to take it over Messi, but Messi just quick turn, doesn't care that he has 0 boost. Double commit now from Evade and Peanut, but it's not punished yet because Messi is rotating well as third and looking for his teammate now is Messi, but can't find it. Hazo intercepting that pass and in midfield.
Havoc now without boost, but keeps going through midfield. And may even have another touch. Nobody really out to challenge that. Here it comes off the backboard. Hazo is in there and Hodge will be up for this too. It's all coming towards the centre now. Havoc is there for it. They have to be so careful here as Mr. Messi comes forward on the counter-attack. Havoc is back to defend it though, and it really has been a defensive masterclass from both of these teams so far in Game 5. Even headed back into Game 4. It has been a long time now since Victory Esports scored to go 4-1 up in the middle of Game 3.
I think pretty much 10 minutes scoreless is Victory Esports, and it's not looking like they're carving out great chances either. Only one shot registered by both teams. Hodge now tries the prefix, doesn't hit it. Hazo against the post, only that could have been really close. All 3 players of Victory were on the goal line, but neither seems to be able to make a save. As now Oofstones trying to establish some more pressure. That ball's looking dangerous. Peanut with the miss, leaving it for Messi. He's looking for Evade in middle. He doesn't have boost to follow that one. Hodge, easy task for him to get it past in the middle, but Messi looks for the shot. It's going against the crossbar, and Oofstones are able to clear their lines. Both teams are now nearing themselves towards that goal. The accuracy getting slowly better and better on the shots. It's getting ever more dangerous with every passing second of this game.
Demo in front of them then there, but Hodge will be a way to clear up at the back. Now here comes Havoc down the left side with 90 seconds to go in the scoreless Game 5. Trying to get the pass into the middle, but Peanut was equal to it. Now it's Hodge's turn on the far side. Evade gets the demo in front. Messi's clearance is not too powerful. Evade will help out to get it back to halfway. Hazo will send it straight back. Now looking over the top, directs it infield, and this is coming down dangerously in front. Evade's clearance out to the wing is met by Messi. It will be back for Hazo on the far side. Looks infield for Havoc, but it's turned over to Peanut, who flicks up top. Doesn't have any boost to work with. Havoc is going to get that right back with 1 minute to go. Still scoreless.
Still scoreless, but Oofstones looking to have the majority of the pressure here in game number 5 as Havoc yeeting that ball back into the blue half. As now Messi with a shot, but Hodge can't make the save. He missed that one. It looked like an easy save for Hodge, but the Guardian Angel doesn't have enough power in his wings to get up to that shot.
far down and into the net with 46 seconds to go, and Victory Esports are in front. Oofstones have got to produce a response to the first goal that they've conceded in over 11 minutes of game time. They've looked offensively capable, but they need to show that more now than ever. Hodge trying to push into midfield, and it's Peanut to win it back again for Victory Esports. Pretty much one more goal for them is going to seal the game. Havoc trying to change things, making a run down the left wing to try and push into the centre with 30 seconds left. Hodge gets possession back, and now it's Evade to take over. Hazo with a crucial block in midfield. Doesn't have any boost themselves though. They'll try and pinch it towards the centre. This one's coming down in front for Havoc. Peanut wins it back on the far side, and it's Hodge to take over. Pinches back off the sidewall looking for Havoc. Now down the right side, it's Oofstones again, looking for the equaliser here in game 5. Ball was up in the air and Evade gets the clear. This is going to be so difficult to go end to end now. It's not going to happen. 3 seconds left and Victory Esports look to be headed for the W.
And Evade beating Hodge on that challenge. Hodge had to commit on that one. Just 3 seconds left on the clock. Just having to jump in as third. Evade just that little bit quicker, and then the landing, and with the shot and transition himself, gets that one in the net. But maybe this isn't over. Yes, it is. Evade gets also this crucial clear as Victory Esports takes this game number 5 in an honestly great series between themselves and Oofstone. Now they are sitting at 2-2 after week 5.
A superb series from both of these teams indeed. You could argue that either side was deserving of taking it, but ultimately only one of them could, and Victory Esports lived up to their name, and they do indeed extend their record to 2-2, which is looking like a much more respectable start to the season now. Very much in contention to still make the playoffs if they can continue the momentum that they've now set themselves on, keep the train rolling and get some more wins. But the Youth Stones, they're going to find themselves 0-3 and now closer to Cagliari Calcio Exceed than they are to Dunno Chief. And, well, picking themselves up in the remaining matches of the season is going to be tough.
Yeah, but they can look back at the series and be proud of how they played. They've played incredibly good Rocket League, especially in game number 1 and also game 4 and game 5 as well. So it was a really, really cracking performance from the Oofstones, and it also was from Victory Esports. The thrashing of TT Wilhelm, I'm glad that we could see a bit of a closer series in the bottom half of the Vortex.
Well, 2 matches from the Vortex and wins for Dunno Chief and Victory Esports respectively, but that is all that we have time for this evening. 2 matches from the Vortex, both provided quality entertainment, but it has all come to an end now.
Yeah, all comes down to an end with Herbie just cutting out.
Now faded in the stream debut.
I don't know what's happening with Herbie's internet. I'm sorry, but yeah, as he said, that's going to be it for this evening. Of course, we want to thank our sponsor Valor and Game King for providing the providing the money and the prize pool that these teams will be fighting for. Remember, in the Vortex, it's 400 euros for first place, 200 euros for the second place team at the end of the season when we have playoffs. So all these teams competing for that, which has been provided by both Game King and Valor. So big love to them, shout outs to them. And of course, thank you all very much for watching this. I have been Mattfish, and I hope Herbie is back to say his goodbyes as well. It seems like he is not, so we will raid someone else after this game. So if you want to stay with them, don't go anywhere. Herbie is dead. I hope you aren't, and I hope you're alive and well, and stay healthy. Take care, and goodbye.